paper magic will survive like the heat death of the universe, and will...
Oh, it's a smuggler's copter. Would you like to crew this? And then it crashes because they don't understand arithmetic.
All your cards belong to me.
2 minutes into macing him in the eyeballs, I switched to pepper spray. He's like, it's all right, refreshing. And went back to the mace.
Magic is dying. I'm done. Selling everything.
I might be a hoarder. And yes,
I don't have the crayons or glue to explain this to you right now.
What, are you gonna die twice?
Oil will be worthless before magic cards will.
well, okay, Dr. Man.
That's Mr. Dr. Professor Jason.
Everything I know about One Piece I've learned against my will.
I didn't like the anime very much, and then I watched the Netflix show twice.
The Netflix show looks pretty good.
The Netflix show is fucking good. And, like, they succeeded where Cowboy Bebop failed, because Bebop was too serious, so everybody looked wrong. Everybody on One Piece looks like an anime character, but they don't look like the anime character, so they look like double wrong. But once you get past that, the people they cast for some of these characters were incredible.
Oh, it was perfect, yeah.
Because acting is 90% what your face looks like. That's why everybody gets typecast.
Speaking of being typecast, welcome to the podcast, everyone. This
is
Brainstorm Brewery.
I
am your host.
Too strong an opinion to start with.
Douglas Jeffrey Johnson.
Just steamrolling right over my objections.
Brought to you by The Objectifier, The Objector, The Objectator.
The Objectifier, huh?
Are you
Jason
having a
E.L.
stroke? Why are you talking like that?
Pouring himself a nice, not warm beverage and sipping it from a wonderful Brainstorm Brewery glass. Speaking of glass, we have Cass coming to the podcast.
With the not glass deli container.
Is that a deli container? I always thought of that as like an egg drop soup kind of vibe.
It's a deli container. It's just a 1 quart plastic container with a lid, and they're not disposable, but you shouldn't use them forever because the plastic will start leaching into your food. But
yep, I use them.
When are you supposed to know what that break point is?
The plastic starts turning like white and like flakes off into the stuff, and like that's usually when things are beyond.
Just
repair.
it's disposable. I use them once. I put I make a bunch of spaghetti sauce or pho broth ahead of time.
I probably buy like a new set of them every 6 months or something. Like they're just.
Wait, you buy a set of them? You don't just keep the ones you get from Chinese food?
I don't order takeout that much, and it's like $8 at the restaurant supply store for like 100 of them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Today I learned. There's your pick of the week.
Yeah, MTG Finance tip of the week. Get a restaurant supply store membership and go there and buy your stuff in bulk. It is so nice.
You don't even need a membership to buy from Gordon's Food Service. You just need to find one.
Well, for those who don't know why we're talking about restaurant supply stores, this is a magic lifestyle podcast. We talk about a little about finance, a little about the magic news, a little about where you should go to buy your egg drop soup containers. We are just here to entertain you and make you money. Corbin Hostler lost his 2nd out of 9 lives recently. Tragic. Just unfortunate circumstances.
It was COVID. It was very predictable.
But it wasn't his COVID. It was someone else who had COVID who passed out at the wheel and ran him over.
Yeah. It was COVID related.
He died an animated death, I'll put it that way. He turned into a pancake and slowly drifted to the ground afterwards, back and forth like a piece of paper.
What was that Brad Pitt movie? Meet Joe Black? It's like the beginning of Meet Joe Black where Brad Pitt gets like hit by a bus and a taxi or whatever in like the funniest death scene in movie history.
Speaking of vehicular incidents, I got Tesla Auto Driver the other day. I was fully stopped at a stoplight, and the car in front of me is a Tesla, which just like put itself in reverse and then backed up into me.
Jesus.
Like 0 miles an hour. Like we were like at a full stop and this happened. We pull into the parking lot and the guy's like, "Why did you run into me?" And he like pulls up the rear view cam footage and he's like, "Oh, well, do you want to talk to our insurance companies about this?" And I was like, "Buddy, I pay $40 a month for car insurance. Leave me the hell alone."
I have the receipts. Oh no.
You should have said you had whiplash. That guy's got a Tesla. He's got money.
That's not true. We both know that's not true. He has a Tesla, which means he might have zero money.
Yeah.
Yeah, but like, they are worth taking to court, is what I'm saying. Like, the people that hit me are never worth taking to court.
Just because someone has
Wait,
some
what,
number
your
of
wife?
assets doesn't mean they have money to sue for.
Oh, yeah, the guy that pasted my wife, like, just didn't even give them, like, his real name, and the cops were like, that's cool. So before we move on with the cast, the beer I'm drinking today is a Montucky Cold Snack. So very, very
Is that supposed to
drinkable.
be a portmanteau of Montana and Kentucky?
Yeah, I'm sure it is. Or like Pennsyltucky, you know? In case you want someone to toss your salad and buy you a boat. I'm a married guy. Hit me up, Pennsyltucky, or whatever your name was on that show. Anyway, no, this is a Montucky Cold Snack, and it was given to me by my boy Alex, a.k.a. Steak in the Discord. If you become a patron, you can meet him in the Discord. So the last time he gave me a beer, I shouted out the sign company he works at. But I don't have the note that he wrote. So I want to shout out his sign company. But all I know is that it's in Grand Rapids. So shout out to either Metro Signs and Lighting, Fast Signs, Express Signs Grand Rapids, Sign 616, Icon Sign, Great Lakes Sign Company, Handicap Sign Company, City Sign Erectors of West Michigan Incorporated, Sparkbird Signs and Graphics, High Tech Signs, Affordable Sign, Signworks of Michigan Inc., U.S. Sign Services, Legend Sign Company, Raider Tech Signs and Graphics LLC, Superior Sign Company, Design Edge, MTY Graphics and Signs, Grand River Signs, Sir Speedy Print Signs and Marketing, or Sunset East Graphics. It's one of those companies. Thanks so much, Alex, for the recommendation on a really nice drinkable beer. And shout out to those companies. The one he works at is the good one. If you're ever in the 616 and you need a sign to let people know that you would like to leave, because that's where the DeVos family operates out of, you could use whatever one he works at, the good one. Anyway, thanks, Alex. L'chaim.
Jason, that bit would have been so much funnier in sign language.
I don't know sign language. And the least funny thing is a person who doesn't know sign language trying to do sign language.
That is true.
That got used a lot, and it's never been funny.
Given that this Alex person is one of your boys, I'm going to guess that he works for the Erector Company, if I had to
Yeah, probably.
wage a guess.
That's
It's
why his
definitely-
shirt said Erector Boys. That makes so much more sense now.
It's definitely not the icon sign one, because they con people out of signs.
I'm bleeding everywhere, and what you just said is still the worst thing that's happened to me all day.
I was just waiting. I was going to put some silence in there so JJ had somewhere to insert the cricket noise.
That's fine. I'll be an insect
Like-
entertainer.
Like guys with British accents hitting a ball. That kind of noise.
I actually am bleeding everywhere. It's
You all right?
very cool. Oh, I'm fine. Everything's fine. Let's do a good podcast,
wait a minute.
guys.
Wait a minute. I've been married long enough to know when a woman says it's fine, things are not fine.
Let's do a good podcast. Let's be some good podcast men today. Let's go.
Not walking into that bear trap. That
I haven't been a
animated
bear for years, honey. Sorry. Speaking of Magic: The Gathering, Wilds of Eldraine pre-release happened this weekend, and dare I say, Magic is good. The sealed format was super fun. We had a lot of people in the store, and I personally played like 4 or 5 sealed pools this weekend.
Whoa.
Only 2 of them were actual events. The rest of them were just like we bought a box and did heads up sealed or whatever. But
Sure.
there's like maybe 15 cards in this set I would never play in limited, but that's because I like high standards. But like the playables, like almost every card is playable. The synergies are really cool. There's like 5 or 6 designs that are just like immaculate and super clever. The rares feel powerful and interesting, and people were just generally excited about Eldraine. It's like a good setting when seems like the power imbalance the last time we went there has kind of been fixed.
Oko nowhere to be seen, which helps.
I believe he's at
Once
Thunder
upon a-
Junction currently.
Oko's in Thunder Junction.
He's in Thunder Junction.
It doesn't even sound like the WoW. It sounds like a theme park. Thunder Junction sounds like a log flume at Cedar Point or something.
Come on
sounds like-
down to Thunder Junction. We have 13 water slides, 4 roller coasters, and 2 sudden drops. Only 4 infants die in our park a year.
Everybody's happening in that action park.
I found out that one of my friends used to go to Action Park with his summer camp during the summers, like the actual Action Park in New Jersey.
Yeah.
And he has like an old T-shirt of it, and he was
Like
like, "Yeah,
the super dangerous one?
yeah." He said
The
he was
one
doing
that
like
only
they have this
killed,
one
like,
slide.
3
It's like a
people a year.
tube. Yeah, there's like this one side that was like a full tube, and he was like getting bigger. He was a tall guy. He's probably like, I don't know, 160 pounds or something, and he starts riding on it, and he starts like detaching from the slide, and he realizes he is getting air, and he never rode it again after that. And if he had, he probably would have died.
That's wild.
They had a rope swing into a pool, and it was the only pool in the entire park that was filled by a natural lake, so it was freezing where every other water source was heated. So,
Was it one of the first deaths? Like
I
cardiac
think so,
arrest?
because there were rocks on the other side. You could technically swing over to the rocks and just crush
Well,
your
the
skull.
The first death in that lake, though, was someone who fell into the water. It was so cold that he went into shock and then into cardiac arrest.
There was
That's
just so
wild.
many
He
deaths.
died of
after.
hypothermia? That's wild.
Oh, how'd you die in New Jersey, honey? The Arctic tundra of the frigid waters of Action Park.
I froze to death in the pack! Are you gonna haunt me with that accent? You didn't talk like that before. That's how Jersey ghosts talk.
Is it?
Yeah. Or maybe it's just James Gandolfini's ghost. I don't know why he's haunting me, but I can hear him breathing.
Speaking of Wilds of Eldraine, the bonus sheet has like 5 or 6 cards in it that I think are some of my favorite limited cards of all time, and having them back has been really fun. I had a deck with Dark Tutelage and Raid Bombardment, and it just like it felt really cool to be able to just play a bunch of 1/1s and then be able to beat a bunch of big blockers through just direct damage with an enchantment. And people
Raid
were
Bombardment's a hell of a card.
yeah, Rise of the Eldrazi is probably my favorite limited format of all time. It may be Gate Crash, but probably Rise of the Eldrazi, and that card's a big part of it.
Yeah, you could draft Vent Sentinel Typal back then. That was a great time to be playing limited.
Wall of Omens just like being an uncommon with Vincent was a common, I think, too. It's crazy.
Yeah, it was a pauper deck for a while, but I mean that was one of the feedbacks for March of the Machines was the limited format being good was just every format was like, oh, surprise, you're building around Yarok this time.
Right. The bonus sheet adds a ton of depth to what would otherwise be a limited format that gets stale kind of quickly.
Makes sense.
Are the cards actually that hard to find? Because I know that's been one of the feedback. That's one of the pieces of feedback for other bonus sheet sets like Masterpieces is like, great, this doesn't actually add any mana crypts to the market, but we have Rhystic Study, we have Doubling Season, we have Aggravated Assault on this sheet. Is that good for the market?
I mean, there's only like a couple of hits on the sheet that are actually meaningful, right? Everything else on the sheet just gets killed to 0.
Yeah.
But that's not a good thing.
Well, that's
Right,
just
I'm
what's
just-
happened historically, yeah.
Right. There's no value judgment in my statement. I'm just saying that's what's happening, right? Like, Rhystic Study's the same price as it always was. Doubling Season, you can get copies for like $30 to $40 now, and like I think in theory that's okay. Doubling Season has a whole host of other problems, like having 10 printings that are,
All different arts.
and none of them particularly have any hierarchical value over the others. So there's just like you search Doubling Season and hope that your copy is the one that someone chooses to buy.
Yeah, I mean, there's plenty of cards in this list that are like that, in that, like, $5 to $25 range. Blood Moon's real not... Like, I was in SCG Columbus this past weekend putting Blood Moon in the $4 buy pile, and it just doesn't feel good for anyone.
That might even be
Basic-
high for Blood Moon.
Yeah. Omniscience at $8, Defense of the Heart at $6. There's so many Magic cards, and the refrain is always just like, remember when this was 3 times as much?
Yep. I always feel like I'm negging customers when I talk about that, but I'm just like, I'm genuinely surprised. I'm like, man, remember when this card was $100? Here's $3, and like it's had 12 reprints in the last 35 seconds.
Yeah, it's really hard for me as a buyer, even as somebody who does this professionally, to be able to keep track of every single card price. Back in 2016 through pre-COVID era, it's very easy to just know all the numbers for all the cards in the room, put them in the correct spot, you're on your way. Nowadays, with 18 different printings for everything, 36 different foils, 54 different mythic rares in a set, it's tough to keep track of your collection's value. And that is where MTG Stocks comes into play, is you can upload your entire collection to MTG Stocks and then have it keep track of the changes in value over time. If you use MTG Stocks Premium, you can keep track of all if you use MTG Stocks Premium, you can keep track of your collection's value on TCG Player with Card Kingdom prices, Card Kingdom buy list prices. You can keep track of the interest across longer periods of time, like every month if you just want to check in on your old school stuff. And you can even use it to make some money for yourself by selling cards at their peak or getting cards when they're lower.
Or you could just stare at the Chiron and space out, and then you'll know all the prices.
Oh yeah, just the osmosis method, yeah.
Yeah. And if you do have ideas for anything you would like as a feature on MTG Stocks, that's information you can relay to me. I wanted a tool on MTG Stocks that calculated when Card Kingdom was cheaper than TCG Player and flags those cards because, you know, when the prices are upside down like that, usually something's up. And that was really trivial for them to program and put out as a premium feature. So if I think of anything else like that, I'd love to have it added to the site. And I'd love to do your idea too. So right into the podcast or MTG Stocks, I guess, if you have a feature that you'd like to have on the site.
I wonder if MTG Stocks could create some kind of breaking bulk formula that teaches other people to have the technology to break bulk.
Well,
Until
nevertheless,
then, we will have to continue to break bulk manually. Or in DJ's case, with our robot.
Yeah, they're taking our jobs, replacing them with robots. I get my robot next week. I'm really excited.
I am Bulk Breaker Bot. They break bulk so much more efficiently than a human. I'm not going to be John Henry that's going to die from my heart exploding, barely beating a card sorting robot in a sorting competition. Forget that.
I'm sure that is a very funny movie reference that you made.
John Henry? The steel driving man? That's not just a movie reference.
Is that an old song?
It's a folk tale, man. But forget it.
Speaking
Why
of...
are you doing this to me?
Being young?
Speaking of card sorting robots, as you all know, Corbin likes to jokingly refer to the Roka as a Roku. Well, one of my business partners, who is a fair bit older of a gentleman, who's not known quite as much about the trading card game industry, unironically refers to it as a Roku, and I don't know how to handle myself in those situations. I don't want to correct him because he'll be like, you kids these days. On the other hand, it makes me think of Corbin's stupid face every time he says it, and I cannot abide by that.
Ask him what it stands for.
Okay. Is Roka an acronym?
Ragging
Robotic
on
operated,
Cass's ass.
Card something?
Robotic Organizing Card Association.
Let's break some bulk.
Breaking bulk time. Breaking bulk time. Break.
Oh, yeah, breaking bulk. There's so much good stuff.
It's a pick. Breaking bulk. The end.
Commander 2018 Rare, Blue, go. One reprint on the list, kind of.
Jesus.
Is
Is this actually bulk?
No,
Is
it's
this Fairy Artisans?
$1.50. What'd you say?
Is it this? Is
Fairy
this from
Artisans?
the Fairy deck, right? 2018?
No, 2018
that was
was
2015.
Lands, Top Deck Miracles, Artifacts, and Auras.
Okay. Does it make
Lord Windgrace and Friends?
copies of tokens or something? Like make
It's
a
not.
mass something?
Nope.
Blue Rare.
Ooh,
Is
here.
this the Serpent?
No, it is not a creature.
All right.
It helps, kind of. Is it? Tell me which deck it's from.
Probably
What's wrong with-
enchantments.
Oh, it's from the Bant one?
Yeah.
A blue
Is
rare?
this like the 7 mana copy 3 enchantments thing?
No.
No, that wasn't in there. Is this? Did the list make this $1.50? Is it the
This
Estrid's
was a
Invocation
$1.
or whatever?
No, this was $1 before it was in the list. Estrid's Invocation is very valuable. I think it's like a $7 or $8 card.
Yeah, that's what I thought. I don't know. What else
Yeah,
is in that
stoned.
deck? Oh, is it the octopus
It is
thing? The
Well,
octopus armor?
whatever.
Yeah, the
Octopus
octopus
Umbra.
whatever.
5 mana enchant creature has base power 8/8, and whenever this creature attacks, you may tap target creature with power 8 or less. It has totem armor, so it just is a little one-time shield counter kind of thing.
Yeah.
And it's just $1.50. You just put it on a
Wow.
1/1, and now you have an 8/8 that does some things and is attacking as early as turn 4 or 5 in a blue deck, which could be unexpected. You could slap it on a Elvish Mystic and just, your blocker's gone, so is your Planeswalker. It gives you a lot of tempo. You can put it on a 1/1 commander, and suddenly
Yeah.
you're a 3-hitter. It's just a nice little $1.50 that you could very easily find in a bulk rare bin.
Does absolutely nothing to stop Farewell, because that's a good card, and it's good for the format.
I have a original Mirrodin colorless common.
Original Mirrodin colorless common.
Has it been reprinted?
Yeah.
Oh. Is it Welding Jar?
No.
Good guess.
Is it a creature?
This is, so to be clear, by the way, as always, I'm ungovernable, so this is kind of a breaking bulk of the week. It is worth a little bit, and you can find it in bulk, but I think it's also going to be good.
Is this
long
Vault
term,
of
too.
Whispers?
Damn it! I gave too much away. It is Vault of Whispers.
That's not
the best-
colorless.
Yeah, it is.
Land.
It's
If
an
I said
artifact.
artifact, it wouldn't have helped either. It is now the best artifact land because it sacrifices to Beseech the Mirror to bargain.
Yep.
Which won or got top 4 at the Legacy Masters in Europe. 2 different decks did well with it. There was one that was Spanish Inquisition, sideboarding into Dark Depths combo sometimes. And the other was 2-card Monty with Beseech the Mirror to find the One of Karn, the Great Creator.
Ooh.
Beseech the Mirror seems like the real deal.
That's getting into some Yu-Gi-Oh lines of play of
Yeah.
play my free tutor, get my other free tutor that gets the other thing that gets.
Yep.
Upgraded
This-
Seek, baby.
Beseech the Mirror being a card that is both good with Dark Ritual and Lion's Eye Diamond, and also 4-mana cards that are fair, is just such a dangerous thing to print, and we're going to see a lot of it, especially in a Bowmaster world. Vault of Whispers only has room to go up, and also it's like about $1.50, and you still find them in bulk nowadays because they kind of worked so good for a while, and they stopped being good, so they're back into bulk.
I don't normally recommend cards that are this kind as a pick of the week. But the Brothers, I don't normally recommend like specific versions of things unless it's very, very important. But the Brothers War Old Border version of this is the only Old Border version of the card, and it also has unique art, and it's pretty cheap. I like.
I think
this.
you could
This
also
is-
argue that the Warhammer one is a similar specialness to it, but for different reasons.
Yeah. I think the Brothers War one probably resonates with more Magic players, I'd argue. I don't know about the supply. The Warhammer one probably has a lot lower supply, but
You say that,
Anyway.
but they did keep printing those decks forever.
you have a lot of very weird versions of this, like the Secret Lair one that's just chaotic in its art.
It's never had like a good reprint, right? Like it was in like Plane Chase, and then Secret Lair, and then Warhammer, and then the Old Border Commander decks.
Yeah. I do like this as a pick. Very much so. Alright, Jason, what do you got?
My breaking bulk this week is a blue New Capenna Uncommon.
Is Witness Protection an uncommon or no?
I believe that's a common.
I mean, the softball answer is an offer you can't refuse. That's
Yeah, but I mean, if you're getting $4 cards in bulk, congrats. Your store must be doing very well. So,
Is
no,
that card $4?
between 3 and 4. Yeah, I like to use Card Kingdom prices because
I'm sure.
that's where I buy my cards from.
Oh,
it's
that card's
not,
like
it's
$1
not an
still.
offer you can't refuse.
It's not an offer you can't refuse.
Oh.
Slip out the back.
Yeah, slip out the back. Those are like
Nice
a buck, and
future
they're like $2.50 on Card Kingdom. It's nuts how I just get wads of these in bulk. People I don't know. New Capenna was not a set anybody really paid attention to, I guess.
Well, there's
Just
that.
kind of came and went.
I mean, you were just complaining about Farewell. This is a great answer to Farewell. It saves the most important creature on the board and then makes it stronger so you can just smack him in the face with the next turn, and you can buy list these for $1. Surprise it. Buy lists on this are very strong. Cool stuff pays $1. Card
A $1 buy list on a card that's $1.20 on TCG Player is
yeah.
That's a lot of vendors that think this is the next $3 card.
Or that they're just selling it for $3, right? Like we just said, Card King is selling for $2.50. There are some vendors that we just can't keep this in stock at $1, so we'll pay a quarter, sell it $1. Oh, now we have to pay 50 cents. Oh, now we have to pay $1. Now we have to.
Yeah,
so
and they do a lot of like effects like that. You know, never mind. Whatever. I'm not gonna fucking add anything. God damn it.
Well, these cards just don't come back into the market very effectively once they're gone. Is the other thing. They get bought. And then
they go in decks.
And they go in decks. And then when that person takes apart the deck, it just gets put into the pile of stuff of like, oh, it's not the doubling season, it's not the Parallel Lives, it's not the fetch land. It just gets lost until somebody dredges it out of bulk again, and that's what we're here for. It
slips out the back. Cool.
No, it's not cool. Depending on who you ask. Is that recently, a few days ago, CardSphere.com announced that they are shutting their doors forever. For those who don't know, CardSphere was a trading platform. If you know what Puka Trade was, congrats, you're very old. You enjoyed the VHS episode last week. But CardSphere was a trading platform that allowed that was sort of, the object was to facilitate trades between players. You could send your cards out to other people, and then you get CardSphere money, for lack of a better term, and you would use that CardSphere money to buy cards for other people's lists. So you could sell your Shockland, get basically full value of it, minus a 1% fee or something around those lines. And then you would use that money to buy somebody else's fetch land or buy some cards from somebody else. And if you ever did want to cash out to the platform, there was a fee that was similar to selling on TCG Player or eBay. So it was a marketplace that the goal was to facilitate some more peer-to-peer activity. But if you wanted to list a huge pile of inventory on there and sort of act like a store, you could. And they announced August 31st. They are shutting down. They've been around 6 years. Fun fact, we had them on 5 years ago on Brainstorm Brewery. Episode 265. That is when we had the CardSphere guys on. I had glasses. Jesus Christ. But
you had glasses?
Uh-huh. Yeah, I was a nerd.
Oh, that's right. You got LASIK not too long ago.
3 years ago.
Jeez.
So their CardSphere is doing a sort of controlled shutdown. They're stopping the signing up of new users. Then they're going to stop international trades, and then eventually, in November, the site will officially shut down. And they state a couple reasons for this. One is that they just can't keep up with the product fatigue as a small development team. They said they only have a few people, and it's very
plus there's
difficult
10 different versions of every card.
Right, and I can't imagine that it is easy to operate as a peer-to-peer trading network. The disputes that come up between trades of, oh, you sent me an etched foil Strixhaven card, I wanted a non-etched foil version, with people who are not experts in the field sending cards through the mail, let's put it that way.
I have a CardSphere story.
Oh.
When the platform first launched, I was like, oh, that's pretty cool. Kind of a little spiritual successor of Puka Trade, maybe fix some of the problems. Sent out a couple cards, got some money on there, and then I put some cards on my want list, and I had them get sent to me. And I was like, dang, where are these cards? It's been like 3 weeks, and I realized when I looked at my account that I hadn't changed my address because I moved in the in that time. So it was just like a Jace the Mind Sculptor and a Mana Crypt that was like mailed to somebody else, and I was like too embarrassed to ever log back on. That's purely user error, to be clear. But that's my CardSphere story.
Unlucky.
Unlucky. Couldn't have played around it.
No. But what do you guys think? I mean, Jason and I have had a couple conversations about this, but we've talked many times about trading is dead. Nobody trades at the LGS anymore. Cash is king. Everybody just kind of buy-lists their cards and moves on. This is an additional step of that, of people do not want to spend their time nickel and diming trades.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But what if they did want that because CardSphere was back? CardSphere 2.0 was back and better than ever. And then they did want to nickel and dime trades.
Maybe. I mean, I certainly don't have the data of their metrics or anything like that. And as somebody who just lurks in many Magic Discords and has a few channels active in each of them, I see some people just spending hours of their lives making physical lists and pictures of things that they have for trade over the internet, like forum style 2008, like over the internet. So I mean, there is a subsect of people that want to do this, but whether or not it is a sustainable business model for a technology company is probably.
I don't think Magic the Gathering is sustainable. So like, you may as well, if you're gonna throw good money after bad, investing in a game that seems to want to commit suicide. I don't know.
By this logic, though, like, your customers on a platform like that are only going to be people who have too much time on their hands, who do not value their time, and therefore are going to be problem customers, like, at a baseline. I feel like if you're engaging in this sort of marketplace, like, you're only going to have the worst, most annoying people using your site, which, like, is fine if that's what you want to get into, but it's just, that's a pretty huge amount of like back-end bloat that's going to come up, right? Like, you're going to have to do 100 disputes because people are going to be upset about condition. Like, the people who go on TCG Player and click the direct button and click the for of or more button, like, those people want to have as much money leave their checking account as possible to not think about it.
Right. Yeah, this is a website that exists for people who do not interact with the Magic ecosystem as a whole, in the most part. I mean, like, most of their user bases have probably never heard that term MTG finance, and if they do, it's not pleasant. But, like, it's just people who sort of still have this view of the game as it was 10 or 15 years ago.
What, when everything was good?
That's
there was no
subjective, Jason.
Brainstorm Brewery? Can you imagine? There was a time when there was no Brainstorm Brewery.
What,
Those were
10
good
years ago?
times.
DJ wasn't even born yet.
Yeah.
That's like BC, right? Like, before
Corbin
cast.
still had glass in his face.
BC stands for before cast.
As a surprise to many, I've been playing a lot of Magic in the last couple of days, last couple of weeks. I've been playing Modern a bunch with Prereleases with the Murktide Regent decks. I've been playing the Gaia's Cradle Fiend Artisan decks in Legacy. And I've been playing a lot of Limited. Not just Wilds of Eldraine Limited, although quite a bit of that. And honestly, despite all the things with Magic that are going on that are unpleasant or overwhelming, things that are good are pretty great still. There's like new cards in every set that are interesting for competitive formats. The draft formats are cleaner and better than ever. If somebody invited me out for like a weeknight draft, I would go for the first time in a long time. And I think this is in no small part just due to WotC putting effort into designing their cards better. Like, you notice we have 10 times as many product releases, but the last time we actually had a game-breaking card was Omnath or whatever. Like, it was really before the true deluge of all
the last
this.
card banned in Standard? That is a great...
Meat Hook Massacre?
Yes.
Or did they do something a couple weeks ago?
I think you're spot on.
No, sorry. Fable the Mirror Breaker and Shieldred, maybe just Fable, got a ban.
Yeah.
But that's because they extended Standard an extra year and they wanted to keep things fresh.
Right.
But, like, as far as egregious design mistakes go, especially for Eternal formats, we've been pretty in the clear, right? Like, Atraxa was really strong, but, like, obviously didn't truly break anything. Hopefully Beseech the Mirror follows that same trajectory. I really feel like we're getting more and more...
So you're charmed enough by the work Bowmaster does in Legacy to think it wasn't a mistake?
I think so. I really like it in Legacy. Obviously, some people don't as much, but like anything that stops people from playing Brainstorm in every deck always.
I did hear a story. I was at SCG Columbus, and somebody told me their horror story of casting a Jace the Mind Sculptor and choosing its Brainstorm ability while the opponent had Orcish Bowmaster mana open,
And I think that might feel worse than a Notion Thief Brainstorm. I think that might feel worse.
The Bowmaster Brainstorm?
But,
I don't know. That
getting your
Notion
Jace
Thief
killed by
Brainstorm was
Bowmaster, like,
iconic.
Like, your Jace dies to the Bowmaster,
Yeah.
and then they get to punch you.
With a 4/4.
And a 1/1.
It's also really funny. It's really funny that someone would play Jace the Mind Sculptor in their deck when the One Ring is legal.
Yeah, they weren't advocating for their decision. They learned their mistake. That was a shot caller you only have to take the brunt of once, but like,
Right. You only make that mistake so many times before you go fully insane. Yeah, I am just like, I'm pretty charmed by a lot of new cards. That's a good way to put it, Jason. There's a lot of issues still, and some of the stuff that sucks really sucks, but casting Preordain, surveilling one, looking at 2 cards, putting them both to the bottom, and having the 4th card be the Lightning Bolt to kill your opponent, pretty awesome.
we do
Feel
need to
good?
have somebody. I know I'm the Zoomer, and somehow fucking Cass isn't, but like, I know I'm the Zoomer, and we should have real Zoomers on this podcast, and we should let them talk for an hour about what Magic has looked like to them growing up. Because if you say the words Cryptic Command at them, they will be like, oh, that's that like, talking about Cryptic Command to somebody who plays Modern now is like talking about Balduvian hordes from Alliances or whatever to somebody who played back in the day. It's like, it's not the same game.
I paid $20 for Balduvian Horde.
Yeah, you did. I know. You're the person in this picture.
I paid $15 per on Phyrexian Scudas. That was a lot of allowances I spent on those.
Ooh.
I don't know what that card is.
That's if you pay 3 life when you cast it, it's a 4-mana 5/5.
Yeah.
That was a card, apparently.
Well, yeah, it was like, there's like a mono black deck where it was fine.
You know, they say that you can pick your friends, and you can pick your nose, but you can't pick your friend's pick of the week.
I knows that.
Pick of the week, pick of the week, pick of the week. Time for the pick of the week.
I am gonna get my pick of the week out of the way because you're not gonna like it.
Oh.
Maybe you'll like it.
Now, if you know I'm not going to like it, that's from years of experience.
So,
right?
Doctor Who as a product is coming out soon-ish. And one of the integral themes of the Doctor Who Commander deck products is Plane Chase. So, my pick of the week is old planes in general. Just like,
yeah, that makes sense.
Old Plane Chase cards, if they dodge a reprint, you should pick them up. The Plane Chase Anthology exists. This is a hard pick of the week to track. We do have a pick of the week tracker that is available to all of our Patreon supporters at $10 and up a month. You can go on there, you can check to see who's winning, who's picked the best cards,
but
who's broken the
DJ
most
likes
bulk.
that because one year he said dual lands.
I do tend to give the spreadsheet tracker some problem picks, I will admit that. But not as
You're
much
like,
as...
I should have won because I had all 10 dual lands.
Not as
I
much
said
as...
dwarves one time.
I was gonna say, Cass recently has picked dwarves, and I think specifically the Japanese foil $3,000 Liliana Dreadhorde General. So I might be losing that status of weird picker, but I'm gonna pick planes. I don't have a specific one in mind. Just
planes.
Just quick question.
You're picking a basic land.
Well, quick question about this pick. So all the planes in Doctor Who are going to be places like London, West Gloucester, I don't know, Planet Zebes, who knows? Like, there's not going to be Tazim, there's not going to be...
Do we know?
Agrabah. I can't imagine they would put Magic Planes in a Doctor Who plane chase product.
I can't imagine they would put Doctor Who in Magic the Gathering, but here we are. It's timey-wimey for a change. So
Right.
I imagine if you can jump between planes, your ass can end up in London.
What I'm saying is, like, are we going to get any reprints in this set? Are they going to be all new plane chase cards? Because I feel like it's really weird if we get, like, an Argothia plane in the Doctor Who deck, because Doctor Who fans going to open it and be like, what the f*** is this? Where's Argothia?
Sure,
Ireland?
But like, also reading the plane explains the plane.
It explains
Right?
the plane mechanically, but not ludonarratively.
Wait. In this example, Dominaria is Ireland and Phyrexia is Great Britain, right? like the Wrath
You're closer
overlay
to right than
is
you are to wrong.
the Wrath overlay is the Irish famine.
That's not funny. What's funny is when I was at a Little Chef in Ireland and they said they were out of potatoes, and I was like, well, you're taking this pretty well. Just wanted some hash browns at a weird half American diner in Ireland. Couldn't do it. The potatoes were all bad.
So if you're looking for a plane that can probably grow potatoes, Eldarin Wilds is, I guess, what you can put in the spreadsheet for me. Eldarin Wilds is a Chandelar plane. There you go, Jason. That allows players. It's like mana reflection. It lets you add more mana.
Were there potatoes in Chandelar canonically? I don't think so.
Your character had to run around a lot, and they're pretty calorically dense. So, like, I think that they're a good source of energy.
They ate apples and bread. You could buy apples and bread. I think that was.
Not
If you didn't buy enough apples and bread, you just like walked super slow. It was terrible. What a mechanic! What a game!
Really good bit of game design.
It was Sid Meier. So like, you give a guy like Sid Meier, he's like, I need at least 4 different types of currency, and we're gonna have to eat and defecate. And they talked him out of the second part. No, Sid, they don't gotta defecate. Just have them eat. Fine.
You gotta ask for the whole thing. That way, when you get 50%, you're okay.
Yeah. He's like, I didn't really want them to have to eat anyway.
Yeah.
I just said that so they would give me food without question.
I still got away with 2 types of food too. We got the calorically dense one, and then we got the one.
We got the potatoes and the apples. That's how Sid Meier talks. Now I'm gonna go make Gandhi bomb a village.
You're gonna make Gandhi an Obama village.
Gandino, who's that? An Italian mobster and like goes on a hunger strike.
My pick of the week is on the Wilds of Eldraine bonus sheet. Just got reprinted. Apparently it's also in the commander deck, but even despite those things, it's still a really nice card to pick up for like a dime. It's like at around 50 cents to a quarter right now, but it is Utopia Sprawl.
Oh, yeah.
I did not know that got hit.
Yeah, it got double hit with this one set, but even given that, like, this card's going to be so cheap, and I'm sure that it will never go back up to where it was, but this is the kind of card I could see you having an opportunity to get in for like, literal 5 to 10 cents, and then someday get out for 50 cents, and just, like, buy one row of them. It's
probably the best wild growth type card they've ever printed. It's very good.
Like I said, one row of these is going to be super cheap, so just throw it in your box with the Magus Elementals, and someday get lucky.
I hope that this is not a sign of the Exotic Orchard situation that I ran into, where Exotic Orchard got hit back to back, and I think it was Conspiracy 2 and Commander 2016. It went from $2 to a quarter. I bought two rows of them. I bought 2,000 copies of that card for about 15 cents each, and it is still around 15 to 25 cents each, because every year after that they put it in the Commander precons, and it just they were done kneecapping it, and they decided to put 2 in the back of the head just to be sure.
There are a bunch of cards that, like, WotC loves putting in Commander decks, and I think it's actually easier to predict which ones are on the chopping block for that than not.
Yeah.
Utopia Sprawl feels like a card that is mechanically more difficult to put in a situation like that, right? Because it says specifically Enchant Forest. Enchant lands are already kind of weird. You have to choose a color, so it's a tracking issue. But, like, Exotic Orchard is, like, a perfect card for Commander.
Yes.
Right? So, like, I think...
Black Market was another one they hit once, and I was like, oh, good, it's going to go right back up. And then they're like, no, we're not done.
Yeah, I like Utopia Sprawl. You made good arguments. Jason, what do you got?
Cool. I got on Arcane Bombardment. That's from New Capenna also. I really like it with Imodane the Pyre Hammer, which is a new commander that's going to be very popular because it just is Bernie stuff. Arcane Bombardment's in a lot of decks. It's a very good card. And I think it's underpriced at like $3 on TCG Player right now. I think on Arcane Bombardment is a potential $10 card, easily 7 or 8. So it's always like, how much time do you have to get in and out before it gets reprinted? They're not going to look at and see that it's $3 and decide to reprint it. So you got like 9 months from the time it goes up, basically, to get in and out. So I think if you get in under $3, you can probably get out at 6 or 7. This is a very good card, and it is starting to disappear online.
This card is immensely powerful. I actually thought it was just worth more money given the power level of it, but like $3 seems like a pretty good slam dunk to pick up this one.
But in EDH, you have 2 spots for a 6 mana enchantment like this. So you're not going to play Thousand Year Storm, or you're not going to play... You get like 2 of these, basically. So
this being a mythic just like also makes me more interested.
Yeah.
I can see it. CK's buy list on this right now is $2.25 in cash or almost $3 in credit.
Well, I mean, yeah, and CK is is almost sold out at $4.50.
Yes.
So if it's almost sold out at $4.50, but also in stock at $3, that's just free money somebody gets to pick up, because I noticed.
You know, the money that we make from this podcast, all of our wonderful picks and that all of our viewers pick, never really wears out on me, and the charm of it never wears out. But what I do love to wear is clothes from Coalesce Apparel and Design.
Yeah, I am wearing my Coalesce shirt right now. It's comfy, it's warm, it's fuzzy. I mean, it's also just warm in this room. It's like 90 degrees. But enjoying my shirt. And you can too. You can get your shirt at coalesceapparel.shop/Brainstorm Brewery. You can even just, go to the regular website. You don't even have to type in that holy thing. You can just go to Coalesce. You can Google Coalesce MTG. You can Yahoo it. You can ask Jeeves about what Brainstorm Brewery is. And then he'll give you some fancy Mitch Butler answer about how it's this Chardonnay 76 or something. I don't know. I just dropped my fidget toy. But you can click on Brainstorm Brewery. You can buy any of our shirts. We have the new one that Cass's face is on. We have the new one coming out soon. TM, I promise. It's really cool. I'm very excited for it. It's the best one yet. You can get our sticker. You can get the clearance sale. Our gift code does stack with the clearance sale, so you can get anything that is just, a little more affordable, a little easier to pick up. And it's also run by Magic players and Magic members of our community.
You can buy EDH Rec stuff while you're there too.
True.
Get some stickers. They go in a quiver. Just get all their stickers. All are like quiver size, so it'd be perfect to get a Ristic Study and a Brainstorm Brewery logo and go nuts. Make your quiver make other people quiver when they see it.
Yikes.
See what I did there?
I did see what you did there, Jason.
I did a pun that because quiver is a verb and a noun. Isn't that hilarious?
Yeah, you're such a pro at nouns. One might even call you a pronoun.
Something else that is hilarious is how we managed
pronouns in the bio, my one weakness.
Somehow we managed to scrape through another episode without Corbin. We're going to try to seance him next week. It is just incredible. What a beige piece
He's not dead. He was at Burning Man. Can we stop talking about him like he's dead? He might have rationed his food and water like they said to. Corbin saw that Firefest documentary. I'm worried about what happened the second he heard they might be short on water.
He is a fish after all. He does need a bit more than...
He does need water.
True. He does need more than most people. Somehow he is the beige paste of a personality that holds this wonderful cast together. Give him a shout out on Twitter. He doesn't listen to these episodes, and we haven't done this in a while. So just at him and say #MuffinMan. That'd be great if you got to this part of the podcast.
Oh yeah, Let's just make up he listen to the whole episode. And we won't tell him what Muffin Man means. That's even funnier.
#MuffinMan at Corbin Hostler. C Hostler 86 or something.
He got rid of the numbers. He's full clean of that.
At
yeah,
Showslur.
he bullied an old man.
I Go tweet at Chosler, #MuffinMan, you know what you did.
Yeah. So this is where the outro music comes in, and you can wait for Corbin to come back next week to give you your regularly scheduled.
Are you like beatboxing like a Seinfeld theme? We should have a Seinfeld theme song. Do you know that guy did a slightly different way for every episode?
I was just trying to play it out, play DJ off. Give him a little exit stage left.